Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Um, Happy Tuesday. If it's not a Tuesday and you're watching this, time has moved on and I've still found success in YouTube. Just kidding. So today I figured my last craft video went really well, and that's where I talked to everybody about what sewing patterns that I used and how I store them. I'm happy to hear how other people keep theirs. There's some really fun ideas like vintage train cases holding patterns, and then the classic manila envelopes. My friend Jimmy Helvin, who is a costume designer in New York, who made some of my favorite pieces that I wore. He does the manila envelopes and has a huge filing cabinet just full of all of his patterns. Now I figured I would show you my WIPs, also known as works in progress if you're not a crafter yourself. I got the idea today because I'm part of a Facebook group, not the same one that I mentioned when I was talking about vintage knitting, but this one is all for people who do vintage crafting. So every Wednesday there's WIP Wednesday, and you show off what works in progress you have. So I figured I would pull out a few of mine just to show you things that I'm working on or things that I have made and in their various stages. So the first one up is one project that's almost done. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen this set already, and I did not mention on Instagram that it's not finished. So I made a Patsy Cline inspired country western little not suit, with a tie. Cheyenne helped me. She cricketed the faux leather music notes, and then I made the tie and stoned it. And then there is a little vest, again cricketed faux leather, and then the faux leather fringe, and then hand stoning, and a skirt. The skirt is a quarter of a circle. It is not very full, but a lot of the original 50s Western ones weren't, so I wanted to go with that. I don't think I'll be making more skirts in this realm, like in the quarter, but I'll probably just start doing them as full circles in a similar way. But I love how this one's come out. I hand cut all of this fringe. Cheyenne and I were planning looks for DragCon, and we were gonna do like leather looks. Here's the leather family look. Now this pose was Raja's idea. We were very lucky to get this family photo. I, of course, was the family dog in my leather poodle look. So you're looking at this and you're probably saying, well, Shane, Mame, that looks finished. And then I removed this vest and I split the zipper completely the first time I wore this, before I actually even did any of the rhinestoning or anything. Just completely wrecked it and ripped the skirt open. So before I can wear this again, I have to take out the zipper, re-sew this up, put in a new zipper, and then put a closure at the waist. I do love how I did the waistband on here. All around, I love this set, and I can't wait to make more like it. But for now, I just have to finish this. So that's WIP number 1. Next up, I'm going to move to a knitting project. This one started last year, maybe a little bit before now, probably during the summer, when I first started planning for Dapper Day last year, and I said, I'm going to try and knit a little something as quick as I can, just to wear to the park. Dapper Day, the evenings are cooler than the daytime, so I felt like that it was reasonable to knit something for the occasion. So I, of course, went went to my girl Susan Crawford, found one of her patterns, and decided on a hooded bed jacket. Now, I am poor, usually, so I was just like, I want to do a project. I don't have money for like beautiful wool right now. So I just went to Michael's and I was like, what fingering weight do they have? Actually, I went to Joann first and they had none. They had like no fingering weight at all. I think maybe the only fingering weight they had was like in a baby yarn. I don't even know. But it was unreasonable and it was nothing I was going to ever use. So went to Michael's and found a brand called Wool-like. And they make fingering weight in, they had a few colors. I had bought black in the past, so I knew that I was fine knitting with it. So I started working on a bed jacket. I did not make it in time. I got very close to like done on time for Dapper Day last year. All I was missing was the 2 3/4 sleeves and the hood. But I just focused on a bunch of other projects instead and didn't finish it. So now I've even started to piece it together. It looks extremely small, but I will have to like block it and everything. It is a pretty lace pattern. It's a 30s, Susan Crawford like rewrote a 30s pattern. So there's the body, and then I have the 2 sleeves, and the hood is on my needles right now, but I lost the knitting bag that it's in somewhere in my bedroom, which is kind of crazy right now. So I have to hunt that down probably tonight, because I realized this has to be one of my finishes for Dapper Day this year. Speaking of Dapper Day this year, I have one project that I briefly mentioned in the last pattern video, because I showed you that I had just bought the pattern. I'm talking about this McCalls 1930s archive collection skirt. I really like this gray one. There is, on the gray, there's like a little bit of detailing that I really like. I like the cut of both of them, truly. So it's going to come down to like how much time I get to put into this. Was smart enough to pick up the right color zipper when I was at Joann. I had the foresight of what project I was going to pull out. I've been figuring out what I wanted to do with this wool for months and months. I found this at Goodwill. It was, I think, such a great find. It is seafoamy, blue-green wool. It is really nice, and I have been so excited to work with it. And originally I wanted to figure out making a pair of like 30s Oxford bags men's pants out of it, because I thought that'd be so fun. But I haven't successfully figured out a good pattern to use for that. So I decided instead I'm going to do just this McCalls skirt, which will be a beautiful evening or daytime outfit for Disneyland. I was like, oh, I might get a little warm in a wool skirt during the day. And I was like, you wear wool pants every day. And sometimes polyblend wool pants, because they look 40s, but they're 80s. You can get away with a proper wool skirt at Disneyland and be fine, especially in the evening in November. So this is one project. I guess it's not technically a work in progress because I haven't cut it out yet, but I might after this video. I'm trying to figure out a good way to record me doing things like cutting out and pinning and stitching and fitting by myself. But I'm going to figure that out. Last year, I had one more project that I started for Dapper Day that was knitting, and this one was actually a reasonable one. And I think I might also finish this one this year for Dapper Day. It is only partially there. I made Lauren a hat for her birthday last year from a 1940s pattern that I bought on Etsy. If I can find the pattern, I'll link that in the description. If I can figure out who sold it to me. So, I made Lauren this hat. Here's Lauren wearing it at Dapper Day last year. And of course, here is me wearing it because I had to borrow it because it matches this dress. And I started to make myself a brown one in a different way. Hers has like a dot pattern. This one I was just going to make a brown classic 40s donut tilt. And then this was going to be, I think, a bow on the top. And then all I have left to make is the actual band that will go around my head. Or this was the band and I need to make the bow. Yes, this was the band because it comes to a point and I need to make the bow. I'm putting it on my head like I already have the donut on there. But, so, you saw Lauren's hat. This will become something similar. And I think this would be an easy one for me to finish for Dapper Day again this year. Which would give me a lot of pieces that were meant for Dapper Day. Just a little late. And all pieces I made, which is exciting. So I'm for sure going to work on finishing that lace bed jacket. Because I was so excited about it when I first started it. And I still am. I was afraid that it was going to be a little too small. And I think it'll be great. And I figure I'll show you one last little project. It is another knitting one. It's nothing, you know, too crazy or exciting. I had started it for myself for this summer, realized my sizing choice was incorrect and had to restart. So, well, actually, that's a lie. I started making one for someone else, and then, you know, they say to not knit for love interests, so I made that mistake first. So I started a 40s men's swimsuit, and this was going to be the back for theirs. I, you know, was like, oh, this didn't work out, and started frogging it. Which, if you don't know what the term frogging means in knitting, it's when you rip it back, rip it, like a frog noise. Knitters are funny too. But then when I was flying to Portland to go visit friends and perform in a wonderful show with some very exciting people, I always like knitting on planes. I feel like it distracts me enough. I obviously have not touched this in a minute because it's a little tangled up, but I restarted it in the right size. I upped my needles and I upped my needle size, and I went to the next size up on the pattern. I don't remember which pattern this is actually, but this is getting put down till end of winter. Who knows? Maybe I will fit the original size I was going to make. But who cares? I like myself. Wow, that was inappropriate to laugh. People should love themselves. But, okay, moving on. So that was a little bit of a tour of my current works in progress, or WIPs. What do you currently have in your WIP pile? This is a small fraction of mine. These are the ones I was willing to show. Even that last one was somehow one I was willing to show. What's in your WIP pile? Do you think I'm going to finish any of these projects for Dapper Day? I now am working a full-time job and get 2 days off a week, and have not yet adjusted to this getting home and being tired from working. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I am accustomed to a life of leisure. The only time I do long amounts of standing is with a drink in my hand. So I'm adjusting, but I think it's going well, and I think I'm going to finish all these projects. But we shall see. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you right back here every Tuesday, Friday, and every other Sunday.